All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, the honors to our apostles, a great millstone that rule with honor and with diligence. Honesty, brothers out there pushing this truth and love and sincerity to wake up the elect. Peace be to the elect and their families, those that change according to the word, calling on the names of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. In time of trouble, we say, peace be unto you. May the Lord have mercy on you in these evil times that we're living in. And this is just a quick MOTB update. You know, hey, these news reporters are shook about this real ID system. That's coming into play. And we know that all these things that are coming into play are leading up to eventually the MOTB. You know, everything is gradualism. It's they set it up to where, well, when they bring something out that's pretty shocking. So like, yeah, let me when they bring something out that's shocking, and then they just keep pushing it out there, keep pushing out there until it's normalized, and then people get over it and say, well, I'm so used to hearing this now or seeing this now that it doesn't affect me like it did when I first heard it. You know, gradualism. You know, but with this new ID system that's coming out, and the information that's coming out about it, these you know mainly in this news video I'm gonna send out. I'm gonna share with you in a minute. He's shook about it, man. He's like, nah, I don't know about this now. This seems like overreach. It seems like they want to watch us. It seems like it's becoming a surveillance state. Everybody's talking about the coming surveillance state and the pretty much the MOTB system that's coming into play. Yeah. People see it. People see it and are like, I don't know. They pretty much disagreeing with it. They shook. You know, people are shook, man. So I'm gonna get this scripture, man, and I'm gonna play this video from Jason A channel. I've been watching this guy for channel for a while. Jason A brings out pretty decent information. Used to be a lot more information than what it is now, but you know, hey, a lot of these alternative media sites are hit and miss at this point. Because they don't understand prophecy. So like they don't understand prophecy, you know. So they hit and miss, but you still get good information from these sites. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this scripture and play the video. This is Revelations 13, and I'm gonna start at uh, uh I'm gonna start at verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's the wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and six. You know? So, the apostles went into the breakdown of this scripture, that number, 603 and three score six is a chi stigma, you know? And the apostles, they went into that information, what that means, what the stigma means. You know, pretty much, goes back into to cut, man. You know, And that's the end game. That's the end game to what he wants to do. He wants to put technology in all of us so that he can. That's why these data centers are being built, you know, that are threatening to push your light bill up to $200 and $300. You know, yeah, that's why they're building these data centers, and they're building them underwater. They're building them in the North Pole. You know, they want to. Right now, they're seeking to build them in places where they won't overheat. But they're building these data centers because they want to eventually put the micro C hip in everybody on the planet. That's their plan, to put that micro C hip and then have you come and grovel into them for everything. You know, and a system where if you speak against the government, if you disagree, then your micro C hip will get turned off, and you'll basically be on your own and starve somewhere. But the elect are gonna be preserved in this time, man. The elect are not gonna go along with the system. The elect are gonna say, you know what, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And we're gonna face persecution, we're gonna face scrutiny, we might face prison time. The scriptures say the devil should cast some of you into prison. So you could face prison time or whatever the case may be. You know, but hey, it's fastly approaching that time. Right out here, they're building all kinds of facial recognition cameras along the highways out here, out this way now. Facial recognition cameras everywhere. People are getting you could be on the highway, no patrol car. You going over the speed limit, you get a ticket in your mail or on your email. You know, and they got these cameras, that can pretty much do facial recognition while you're on the highway, get your plate number and send you a ticket. The police don't even have to sit out there anymore. you know so everything is getting digitalized, and set up. Hey, I went to Walmart yesterday, with my mother, and it was only they changed the whole Walmart around. Everything is self checkout. It was only two cash registers where it was people working, and then they had two stations where they had the people monitoring, who was coming through, but it wasn't a lot of workers in there. It was the majority. Usually Walmart, you got on one end you got self checkout, and on the other end you got self checkout, and then there's a bunch of registers. This Walmart only had two registers, and everything else was self checkout. And they had somebody hovering on both sides in the self checkout to make sure any problems, any ID checks or whatever. But it's set up. And one of the brothers did a video. He went to the store where you when you go into the store, you can do your palm print or fingerprint, and when you go in the store, I think you scan everything on the app on your phone, and it pays for it. When you leave out, it charges you. You know, so all these systems are being put in place for the final stretch, which is that MOTB, man, and they're gonna implement. They're gonna push that on society, and they're gonna want everybody to have that, and that's the time really where Jacob's trouble is at its height, is at its peak, because the elect are not gonna take it, and you might have, you know, some of these so-called other nations hey, these news reporters are shook about this. They're like, nah, I don't know, man. Like, like this is considered overreach. You know, people are shook about it. You know, but I'm gonna get this video. I'm gonna play this video. Now, Baratazar, man, like, you can see through the spirit for yourself, man. What kind of spirit, like people are like, they sound like they're listening to us. You could tell when people are listening to us, man. But like a lot of the things, the things that people are saying now are kind of mirroring what the Israelites have been saying, that this thing was going to come. So I'm gonna play this video. Baratazar, man, it's fair use, fair use. It's for research purposes only, you know.
And I said for so many years, back into the 1990s, if you want to see what's planned for the West tomorrow, look at China today. And in China, you have millions of cameras in the cities. They can find you in literally minutes, wherever you are. These, facial recognition cameras, etc. And they have this social credit system. So you get...
Hey, that's another thing, the social credit system. They're going to have a system set up to where it's classism. If you're rich or if you have a decent amount of money, you're going to be put in a certain class. They want to do away with the middle class. They want just a rich and a poor class, because if they had a middle class, it'd be too many people to keep an eye on. So they just want it to be a rich class and a poor class. That's why there was recently a government shutdown. Now they're expecting another government shutdown to happen starting in January. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying agree with it, but we'll see how the Lord plays things out. But they're expecting the government to shut back down in January. From what I'm hearing. So hey, at any given moment, this could be implemented and pushed onto the people, man. So the Lord gave us, and mainly us here at Great Millstone, the eyesight to see these things, man. And all the other believers out there, the eyesight to see these things and watch for these things to come.
Points if you behave in ways that suit the government. You lose points, credits, if you behave in ways that doesn't suit the government. And if you lose enough credits, then you are excluded from mainstream society. What happened during COVID?
So if you speak out against the government, or if you do things to displease the government, you lose credits. They're gonna put it on a credit system where where it's total control. Either you go along to get along, or you're gonna be ousted from society, or you won't be able to shop. You won't be able to. You have to do. You have to pretty much be self-reliant. And then even if you are self-reliant, if they catch you, they're gonna imprison you. They'll probably give you a charge like sedition or whatever the case may be. But if they catch you, you say, "Look, I'm not taking it." They're gonna lock you up, man.
To people that wouldn't have the jab and refused to wear masks, they were, facial recognition cameras, etc. And they have this social credit system. So you get points if you behave in ways that suit the government. You lose points, credits, if you behave in ways that doesn't suit the government. And if you lose enough credits, then you are excluded from mainstream society. What happened during COVID to people that wouldn't have the jab and refused to wear masks. They were excluded from mainstream society. Exactly. That was a pre-run in so many ways of where they want society to go.
Hey, we've been saying this. Hey, even before the 1-9, we were saying that these type of events were going to happen where they're going to. Hey, the Apostle Tahar was talking about herd mentality way before the 1-9 even came out. You know, we would we were put on to this information through the Holy Spirit on our apostles for this information to come out, and then we searched out the matter even further and found supporting evidence that these things are coming, and now everybody else is seeing it. And I don't, and it sounds like some of these people watch us. That's what it sounds like, man.
If you didn't like COVID, well, you're not going to like what's planned coming up. So in China, if you lose enough credits, you can't go on a train, you can't get on a plane, you cannot function in a mainstream society. And this whole social credit system is moving very fast into the West. The digital ID, the digital currency, the control by AI, the control of everything via AI. You're seeing some supermarkets being introduced now where you need a QR code to go in. Well, what if you don't have a smartphone? What if you don't want to be part of that system? Well, you don't get in the supermarket then.
You pay with your fingerprint too.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I mean, of course, leading. See, there's going to be he's putting the blueprint out. There's going to be measures that's going to be taken that will be more and more strenuous, more and more connecting you to the Internet of Things, man. Near field technology is the new route. They wanted you to be able to just swipe your hand or swipe your phone and keep going. So now, I was talking earlier about gradualism. They're gradually putting you in the mindset of being able to just swipe and walk out. And eventually you'll be swiping your hand and walking out, man. So they're gradually putting you in that mind of convenience. Oh, I could just, hey, when I come in, I can swipe my debit card at the door, and then I can scan everything on my phone, and then I can just walk the fuck out, and it's paid for. And people are gonna see convenience as, wow, yeah, I'm up on shit. Hey, you ain't even got to do. I remember when you had to do this, but now you ain't even got to do nothing. You just swipe your hand. And Jake is gonna be sold. A lot of Jake is into technology anyway. And a lot of Jake is into convenience, and Jake is gonna be sold easy.
It's the same thing. It's all this unfolding control system.
The UK government has released a video showcasing their digital ID system that's set to be rolled out next year. And in this video, they attempt to paint anyone who uses a physical ID as someone who's just clumsy and outdated.
Can I get a pint of lager, please?
Yeah, of course. Can I just see some ID?
Yeah, no worries.
Let's got someone here. Hi, can I have a pint of Christmas cracker, please? So we're changing the law so that next Christmas, young people will have their ID on their phone, so they won't have all of the hassle of needing to get ID or leaving their ID at home or their paper ID getting...
You see? Oh, you're going to have your ID on your phone. Everything's getting digitalized. Because why? Because this is a part of the agenda. They want to push that MOTB. They got it set in their mind. Look, we're coming to the point where, hey, we said that this stuff was supposed to be implemented. We gotta take steps to implement this thing, regardless of what the Israelites are saying. And it's gonna be pushed, regardless of what we're saying. Yeah, we're bringing out the words of prophecy, you know, and it's gonna come to pass because it's written in the Holy Scriptures through Yahweh Bashim Al for it to come to pass, and it's gonna come to pass, you know. And a lot of people are gonna get caught out there and fucked up when it comes to pass. A lot of people gonna rebel, you know. And if you're sincere, all of you that are sincere about this truth, if you rebel from this MOTB that's about to be pushed upon you, man, may the Spirit be with you, man. You know?
Lost or damaged. So it means that giving your ID is safer than it's ever been before.
Safer than it's ever been before. I'm not too sure about that. There are still concerns around digital IDs and the security around them. Freya, what do you think of that ad?
Well, the ad left a very sour taste in my mouth, I must say. Depicting anyone that prefers the old school ID as somehow stupid or bumbling is just insulting. But I mean, I must admit, on this one, I might be a little contrarian on Sky. Here in New South Wales, we do have our driver's license on our Service New South Wales apps. And I must say,
Hey, look, so it's being implemented everywhere. She said in New South Wales they have their driver's license on their phones already.
I don't even carry a wallet around anymore. I've got my debit card on there, my license, everything. Now I can see Kel looking a bit concerned over there. But
You see? Well, hey, my man right here, he ain't going for it. Watch.
you know, Gen Z native, it's just I can't get around the old school paper stuff. I'm sorry. So I'm a fan of what we have here in New South Wales, but I do not think it should be mandated. And I think claiming that anyone who prefers the old school system is somehow stupid, I think that's really wrong.
Yeah, I think there are still concerns that no one should really be forced in.
He said it's wrong for people who think the old system is stupid, but she thinks it's stupid. She was just talking about how convenient it is. So she's already on board. So saying that, people that I think it's wrong for people that to say that not getting it is stupid, but you already on board with it.
Getting this digital ID.
And also concerns about what it's really all about. I mean, the impression that I get from that commercial is they're lying to you. They're telling you you need this on your phone so that you can buy a beer, only if you're young or look young. That's not what it's all about. This is an app which on your phone, I take it, can track wherever you are and track every movement. You will live in a surveillance society where if the government wants to, it can know where you are at any minute, any time of the day, any day of the week, and it's all there and they can check where you were at 11 o'clock last Thursday morning. I just think it's very close to Big Brother is watching you.
Yeah, I agree.
And that worries me.
I think so too. I think there are concerns when everyone is forced to sign up to this. If you want to, and it's easier, and you want to go out to the pub and buy whatever beer you want and not be clumsy, sure. But I agree with you, Kel. I think there's
not optional. There's something going on. There's another agenda. Remember they brought out this health thing where you can have this My Health and everything your doctor tells you ends up being loaded there. And they keep reassuring you, no, it's going to be perfectly all right. Only authorised individuals will be able to get into it, including the sales staff at the local chemist. But, just authorised. But you could opt out. So I opted out, and I'm not in it. I'm not part of it. When they bring in a digital ID and they say, you can't opt out, you're getting this whether you want it or not, they've got another agenda.
See? When they say, he's onto it. He's onto it. He brought it out. He said, when they say that you're getting this and you can't opt out, then they have another agenda. And he was talking about how they're gonna be able to track you. And they're already perfecting that system behind the scenes. They're already tracking us. They're already, tapping into our cameras and microphones and stuff. That's why these phone companies. Some of these phone case companies, They make the phone where there's a piece that slides over the camera. Because they know that people can tap into your phone. Regular hackers, like people in a basement at their mom's house, can tap into your phone and your camera. So you don't think the government can tap into your phone and camera? So they already have that information. They already can do that. But he's saying for you to just outright agree with it is he's not going to do it. Pretty much. He's saying there's another agenda behind it, and there is another agenda behind it. See, people are not blindly just walking after the beast, but they're like a lot of people are being cautious about this. Like, nah, I don't know, man.
I think so. Absolutely right.
The digital side of this is the other side of the control system, where if you have a digital ID, you cannot take part in mainstream society without the digital ID. That's the idea in the end.
Which was just proposed by the Prime Minister here.
Just proposed by Keir Starmer.
Right, with the reason being illegal immigration, which I would love to get into.
Yeah, well, what's kind of interesting, because
problem, reaction, solution.
I do say, I've said over the years many times, this cult plays the long game. And I also came up with this phrase, problem, reaction, solution. You create the problem, blame someone else for it, and then openly offer the solution to the problems you have covertly created. And immigration went off the charts under Tony Blair when he was Prime Minister. In fact, some years after he left office, someone who was in that group came out and said the plan was to open the doors to immigration to such an extent, these were his words, that Britain was culturally changed in a way that was irreversible. Okay? Who's been the big promoter now of digital ID to meet the problem of immigration? Tony Blair, the man who's actually the handler of Keir Starmer. So they play the long game. They create the problem.
See, these people know that people have handlers too. So hey man, like this information that was all a part of secret talk and secret society is all out in the open now. Everybody's talking about, yeah, this is his handler. Hey, that was information that people wasn't talking about years ago. But hey, the scriptures speak about how knowledge shall increase, man.
And then they come out and say, here's the solution to the problem, which just advances the agenda. And so...
Yeah, and we speak about that problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem, and then in that problem, like the government shutdown. That was, a problem, reaction, solution. They created the problem. They shut down the government, and the people started reacting. Well, if I don't give my steps, blah 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 blah. And then they gave a solution. Well, look, we're gonna make you feel like we really care. We're gonna give you your stamps or a portion of your stamps or whatever the case was. I don't get stamps, so I wouldn't know. But well, we're gonna give you, your stamps. That put people back to sleep like a motherfucker. But people, so people that got their money, I better have got my money. I got something. So now people are like, they back in that comfy seat. They back in that recliner chair, like, I'm good now. But when they do these things, they really desensitizing you to these things, the fact that these things can happen.
The digital ID is connected to the digital currency. The central bank digital currencies. And the key thing about...
You hear that? The digital ID is connected to the digital currencies.
Digital currencies is they are programmable. Programmable so that from a central point you can dictate what people can buy, what the digital currency will work to buy, and what...
That no man may buy or sell, at least he had the mark. Okay? It sounded marky. It sounded marky.
Won't work to buy. Also programmable in an area that they will operate within, and outside of it they won't. So if you buy and what it won't work to buy, also programmable in an area that they will operate within, and outside of it they won't.
The 15-minute cities. They're gonna subject you to a certain area that your C-hip, your or whatever your digital ID or whatever can work in, and outside of that area it won't work. 15-minute cities. They'll be able to they'll be able to keep you in a certain zone. You know? As long as you stay in this zone, you can get what you need in society. You can go to the grocery store and shop. But once you go out of this zone, we'll turn your shit off.
So if you want to create, which is now a big thing that's becoming more and more obvious, more and more people are becoming aware of it, this 15-minute city isolation zoning of people, so that everything they say will be, this has come from people like the World Economic Forum, but it's much wider now. Everything that you need, they say, will be within a 15-minute cycle ride or walk from your home.
See, hey, why is that? Hey, man, the scriptures speak about that, man. Hold on, just a minute. Hold on real quick. I got it queued up right here. It's just 2 Ezra 15, and starting at verse 13, it says they no, I'm starting at verse 14. So like, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Because if you don't abide by these 15-minute cities or the rules that are coming, you're gonna be labeled as seditious or a deserter, and they're gonna put you to death. You know, if you're labeled a deserter, you can get put to death for that. I knew that because the military tells you that. Look, if you ever desert on this duty that you signed for, we can kill you. You can get the death penalty. They never gave anybody that I know of the death penalty. You know, like where it was public. They could have just sent you out to a spot and had assassin out there to kill you, and say you died in combat, whatever the case may be. But that law does exist. It is on the books. You know, being a deserter. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. So there's going to be all out fucking war and turmoil out here, because there's going to be people that are not going to agree with this system. You know, they understand that this is slavery. You put me in a situation where every bit of thing that I get to provide for myself, you control it. That's a form of slavery. Because, you know, like I can't side hustle and make no extra money, because everything I gotta make gotta be on record from you. It says, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. And they shall not regard king nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Everybody's going to be killing every fucking body. If this person ain't got something, they gonna come to your house with guns. Hey, it's gonna get vicious out here. It's gonna get fucking third world. You know, it's gonna get bloody. You know, when people get ousted from society, imagine the people that's so-called safe. Imagine people running into their villages or 15-minute cities and killing and taking that shit. Raiding parties. Coming into the 15-minute city areas and busting down your fucking door in the middle of the night and taking your shit. Killing you, rape, man, it's gonna be vicious, man. There should be sedition among men invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their action shall stand in their power. So the people are going to be against the government, the powers that be. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because you're going to be subjected to these 15-minute cities, and your money will only work inside of these zones. You're going to be zoned to a certain area to where when they put this up in you, hey, if you leave outside of the area, your shit ain't working, and it might not come back on when you go back in, or you might be a penalty. You gotta wait a day, or next time you're gonna wait 2 days. You know, it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why is he not going to be able to? Because there's going these cities are going to be zoned off. And what happens when cities are zoned off? That means that I can come in this zone that's I can come into this zone that's cut off from the rest of the world and do what the fuck I want to do. And nobody else will hear about it because they can't come and see it. They can't come record it. There'll be no media. You can't. Hey, you're gonna be subjected. You're gonna be subjected to whatever they want you. And you know how they're gonna do that. We're gonna see. They could do it. They could bring out another virus or disease or something. You know, because they kind of had people zoned off. I remember when the 1-9 hit. I was on the highway. I was trying to go out to Chicago to see the brothers out there, and they had fucking barricades across the roads. Now, if I didn't know that area and know how to get around them barricades, then I wouldn't be able to go to Chicago. But I grew up around the area. I'll just go through the city and hit the highway. It's certain areas, it's certain ways you can drive through certain cities and hit another highway that's already in Illinois. But the main highway, 8094, was shut off by barricades. And I was like, this could be it. I was in my this could be it mindset. It says a man shall desire to go into the city and will not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Why? Because there's going to be raiding parties. The government is going to get on some shit where they're going to be they're going to get on some shit where they'll off you like it ain't shit. They'll kill you in the streets. The government is going to get on some tyrannical shit. But there's going to be raiding parties. All the people that ain't got the C-hip coming in, spilling into the cities at night and busting in houses and raping women, raping children, and doing what the fuck they want to do. And it says they shall not regard king nor princes. Hey, the people that's gonna be trying to uphold the law, they're gonna fight them too. It's gonna be skirmishes and hey, the scriptures say wars and rumors of wars. That ain't just gonna be abroad, but that's gonna be here in the land. It's gonna be skirmishes and people, getting fucked up. Ain't nobody gonna live comfortable. If you think you're gonna get the C-hip and live somewhere comfortable, you got another fucking thing coming, because the people that don't got it gonna come and take your shit. Oh, I'm good. I'ma just be in the house, nigga. Somebody can bust your window out. Like people, what do you think? Somebody gonna try to look around the house and find the key to get in? No, they'll kick your fucking door down. You know. So you're not gonna be. If you take the C hip, you're not gonna be safe. If you don't take it, you're not gonna be safe. You know. But if you got your how about Shimmy Awashai, you're gonna be safe. You know. I'm gonna go back to this video and then I'm gonna get ready and close out.
And all these cameras that are going up all over the cities, like in London, they're for various excuses, like various zones. If you enter them, then
I was talking about that earlier. They got a lot of cameras going up out here. You know, like it seemed like every 5 or 10 miles they got a facial recognition camera. You know,
find if you got the wrong vehicle or the congestion charge and all that stuff. All these cameras, number plate cameras, the longer term reason for them is to police these zones which people are kept in. Now, what better way of keeping them in a zone than their currency will not work if you leave the zone? How are you going to buy anything even if you do leave the zone? And this programmable money is the most fundamental deletion, potentially, of freedom.
yeah. So you heard it for yourself, man. You know, hey, they getting ready to set up to shut this society down. They want total control. You know, he wants to be as God, man. You know? Yeah, this is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped? This is asking a serious question. Who opposeth everything the scriptures say and put his picture as a picture of God? Who is doing that? Above all that is, it says, exalted himself above all that is called God. That means that everything that the scriptures are saying, you say it's okay to do the opposite. You can go and be a Mo or a Les, and God ain't gonna do nothing about it. You good. Do as thou wilt. Who's promoting that spirit in the earth, man? Who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called God? And we're Yasharallah is called by the name of the Lord. You know? It says, or that is worship, so that he is God and sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Who is showing himself? Who is putting this picture up that's saying he is God? Who is putting this picture up and saying, hey, the scriptures speak about you're not supposed to make no graven images. So who is showing himself that he is God? Where does this picture of this so-called white man that doesn't have woolly hair come from? Well, let's show you who the devil is, who's doing all these things that are opposing the scriptures. Who's saying it's okay for a man to marry a man and a woman to marry a woman, and people to get their rod chopped off and get a hole put there, or get their hole snatched out and get a rod put there. Who the fuck is doing that? You know? So now he's gonna enforce God-like authorities. Look, you can't leave this area unless I tell you to. This is your area. He wants to have total control over all the people. And that's a God-like power who exalted himself, showing himself that he is God. You know? Who is doing this? was against all that is called God, against the scriptures, totally against the Israelites. You know, and it's being worshipped. Who's the man that's doing that? And the man that's doing that it shows you he's in a lust for more power and control. And eventually he's going to go to extreme measures to achieve control over all the people. And people are going to be caught out there. You know, all this talk about who is Cornelius and all this talk about you know, what doctrine is wrong, what parts of the scriptures ain't right, and is authoritative. All that shit about to go out the window. People about to have bigger fish to fry. When this man comes down, see, there's a lot of distractions out there. You better choose carefully who you choose to follow. You know, we ain't for all this bullshit going on out here, man. These people just saying any fucking thing about the scriptures, and we supposed to be okay with it. We ain't okay with it. And if nigga, if you changing the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Lord gonna deal with you, man. You going against the doctrine, the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you gonna get fucking dealt with, man. Bottom line, man. So, you know, hey, that's pretty much it, man. With that, I'm going to give all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles, honors to you brothers out there pushing the word. Shalom.